GM, everyone. Welcome back to another live episode. We're slowly going through our rebrand. So I was going to say GC Crypto, and the branding is still going to have a bit of GC Crypto while we change everything. But we thought we'd try and snag the username of our new branding, Craig. We've been working hard behind the scenes, trying to be as creative as possible. It's hard. It's hard to find a name that works with both of us. And we settled on Market Mates. So if you do see Market Mates, guys, obviously we'll be rebranding everything probably over the next couple of weeks. So do bear with us. But GC Crypto is left in the past. It's left in 2025, Craig, and it's time to branch out to a new name of Market Mates. GM to you, mate. How are you? Good to see Levi in the comments. Good to see Wayward's in the comment. Good to see Angelos and Yana in the comments. GM to you guys. How are you today, Craig?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I should say I'm good, mate. As I think a nice name change. I think GC Crypto TV, as far as reaching a wider audience, is pretty limited. A lot of people won't know your name's Greeny and I'm Craig, and what GC stands for. What's GC mean? Crypto, sure enough, and then TV at the end. Well, why? Because we're not on TV. So there's a few confusing things in that name that I always found a bit offish. But I think Market Mates, a little bit simpler, a little bit easier to say, and I think gives more of a feeling about what we are. Obviously, you know, we've been friends now for quite a few years, so it complements that. Yeah. And obviously, we want a nice, safe place for people to come and get some market updates. Right? That's a bit more, not as sterile, perhaps, as some other channels. So I think a nice name change, a bit more descriptive about what we are without putting our names in it, which is just unnecessary. Yeah. And I think just a way to be able to, you know, go on different platforms and not scare people away or be like, what the hell is GC and all that stuff. So moving in the right direction. And as you said, just heaps of stuff to do now in the background.
Now you've got to rebrand everything, but it is what it is. And I think it's the right decision. I mean, it plays on the Aussie twang. It definitely covers us across a range of different topics moving forward. But yeah, guys, let us know in the chat. Do you like the name? Let us know. Because we like it. There was a few out there. We thought of a few others, but this one we settled on because as Craig said, it just covers everything in a nice, succinct way. Massive shout out to our two partners, obviously. OKX, guys, you can sign up down below. Most trusted exchange in the world. If you do $1,000 of volume, you get $75 of crypto for free. And obviously Yeet as well, guys. We have pushed up to 8,000 points, $8,000 of volume, which is fantastic. If we get to $10,000 of volume by the end of the show, we'll do a giveaway of $100 today. Okay, 10,000 by the end of the show. We'll do a $100 giveaway today. Right. So shout out to Andrew, Angelos. Angelos and GG really are the two people who have pumped up the volume over the past 2 days. Good to see Hemi back, Undo as well, Ponky as well. Flora, Vision back as well. Good to see. I'm not sure who the bottom one is with Boo. But we'll move straight into the topics, Craig. Lots of news overnight. To be honest, where do I start? Let's start with this one because this is quite large. So JPMogan. JPMogan is launching a JPMogan coin on the Rising Canton network. So if you don't know who JPMogan is, it's very much one of the largest entities or companies in the world, based out of America, bank. And basically, they're launching from base to Canton, which is an interesting move, just days after Canton's coin set a new peak price. What are your thoughts on this? This is pretty crazy. I mean, I did take this market actually on Myriad Market, stablecoin market cap to pass over 360 before February. Very much confirmed no. And I took that market, a couple of weeks ago, I think, on Myriad. So I'll be cooking up some profit there. What do you think, Craig? This is pretty big news. This is pretty big news.
It's funny. I'm pretty sure I remember JPMogan years ago saying how they would never get into crypto and crypto was a scam and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it was them. So it's quite funny when I first got into crypto in 21, you had all these companies like JPMogan, you name them, all the big finance companies, all the banks said crypto was a scam, only scammers use it and all these bad people and all the bad names and all criminals basically. And now we wake up and they're launching a coin. So there's that quote all at once. There's quite a good speech by that crypto dude. I can't remember his name. He gives a speech how the banks eventually would join them. They'll fight them and then they'll join them. Well, he was right, and they are joining us, and they're all coming at once. And now, lo and behold, they're not only buying crypto, they're launching their own coins. So I guess it was from 21 till now, it was all about laying the railroads for all this to happen. And they were telling us not to buy it while they built their product to then sell us. So
Exactly. Yeah.
classic finance stuff. But anyway, what I think about it, I think it's amazing just from the point of view, it gives so much like validity to our little space we're in. I mean, if JPMogan are launching coins, then, or their own coins, sorry, then that probably gives a bit of validity to the rest of to Bitcoin at least. So,
and I mean,
I think it's great. I think it's
great.
Great.
And it backs it up with Franklin Templeton, which do 3.7 quadrillion worth of transactions annually. Like that's unfathomable. You can't even comment on that. Like Elon's about to become a trillionaire. Most people don't even understand what a billionaire means, okay? Let alone trillionaire, let alone quadrillion. That's nuts, Craig. So, yeah, this is massive. Great to see. I mean, is it great to see? That's the question. Are we slowly, I mean, I can't remember, but someone else sent me something in GTG this morning about another whale buying a shit ton of Bitcoin this morning or overnight. Like, are we moving into now all of these banks, all of these infrastructures, all these countries, all these companies, all these hedge funds? Are we moving into a more decentralized world? And is the ROI of crypto now leaving us? Like one of the premier traders from last cycle, I'm not going to name his name on Twitter, arguably has been crashing out a little bit lately because the crypto market hasn't been as lucrative or as easy to trade as something like the stock market or gold or silver or even some of those high tech stocks, right? So is this the first sign of that real adoption of Web 2 coming in, scaling out all of the OGs of crypto, all the whale wallets like we've seen selling more recently, and a transition from really that decentralized and high upside ROI to very much just a mature industry, a mature asset class, and very much an adoption through to that next institutionalized wave? What do you think? Like, is that a fair take to have?
Yeah, I do. I think you're spot on. It's just that, the space we're in is now maturing, and love it or hate it, this is what we all wanted in 21. So, we were gagging for that. I mean, this news article, man, if you put this in 21, people would have lost their minds, dude. Like, people would have been like, oh my God, they would have been like, hey, like praying to God, saying thank you. So look, we wanted this. We wanted crypto to become, the next thing, I suppose, in finance. And for it to become the next thing in finance, you have to get the big boys on board. Without the big boys on board, this doesn't work. It doesn't happen. You have to have the banks. You have to have these guys. I don't love or hate them, you know what I mean, or what they stand for. That's kind of to the side.
Yeah.
They will, mum and dads are going to be reading this, other types of investors, not just mums and dads, but, say business professionals in the banking sector. I remember I tell a story. I know a girl who was quite high up in Westpac, and I caught up with her maybe 3 years ago, and she was like, oh, what are you doing now for work? Because I know from the gym. And I said, oh, I'm working in crypto now. And she laughed. She laughed at me and said, crypto, that's a scam. and she said, oh, that's for scammers and criminals. And I laughed and I said, well, banking, you work in a bank, man. As far as I'm concerned, they're a bit worse than that. But anywho, fast forward, it's people like her in their 30s to 40s who are professionals who will now see this. And unfortunately, people like me can't convince her to come across, right? Not really. They need to see stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
My mum and dad have to see stuff like this because they're in an old mentality. They're risk adverse, I suppose I should say as well.
I mean, most people are risk adverse. Even, like, I'm sure maybe your wife is the same. Like, my wife is very risk adverse, and she just leaves me to handle this side of it. And then hopefully, like, even we sold a bit of our managed fund recently to cover, again, just more money in our pockets for this house deposit that we want to have in the next month or two. And she's like, wow, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, you don't want to see how much money I deal with every day, like, sort of thing in crypto, right? So yeah, the risk is a big thing for a lot of people out there. My question to you about this on the last topic here, do you think this ruins, or this is great news, obviously, for adoption and probably Bitcoin and stablecoins, but again, you can't really get exposure to stablecoins. So that's my first part of the question is, what is the best way to sort of capture JPMogan and other huge financial institutions like Franklin Templeton joining these sort of chains and running their own stablecoins and all this? Like, if that's where the world is heading, you can't really capture that as a retail trader, right? That's the first part of my question to you. Second part to my question is, does this mean that most altcoins are going to zero and that the upside only really works, again, with attention, with hype, with maybe Bitcoin specifically, and probably the main chains that are going to continue building and get these particular juggernauts to join, like obviously Solana, Ethereum, Base, you could argue, and now obviously Canton, which is pretty crazy because Canton's obviously a newer chain. It's a layer 1 smart contract blockchain with configurable privacy control solving to public network adoption, RWAs, and TradFi Institute. So that is the key point there. What are your thoughts then, Craig? Like, do you think crypto, like the ROI for a common trader is a thing of the past?
No, I don't. I think I see what you're saying, but I don't think it's a thing of the past, good profit. Okay. I think what we're going to see, I think it's actually a good thing, because if you look at all the altcoins and everything we've got, and you have it's specifically alts. I think meme coins are a different conversation, because I think with meme coins, everyone's aware of what that is. Mm-hmm. Whereas with an altcoin, I'll refer back to 21 because that's as far back as I can go. You had a lot of altcoins promising, utility in different ways, and really, it didn't really eventuate like that, and the teams kind of fell out. I think this is kind of necessary for the tide to go out and just to show who's who. And I think slowly over time, it's going to erode. The shite will erode. So quite quickly with the big dogs like this coming in now, the teams who aren't performing are going to get absolutely destroyed now. So if I was a chain now or an altcoin, I would be quite fearful probably, because I think the jig's up. Mm-hmm. And I think those teams that have been doing raises for absolute dog, you know what? Mm-hmm. I think basically, long story short, I think we need this to happen, because if we want to be taken seriously, then we need to not be more serious. We can have subsectors of meme coins, but then I think there needs to be stuff that's actually doing things. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't really happened. As you've seen, like for you, Greeny, has much changed in utility of altcoins from 21 to now?
No, absolutely. I think what meme coins have done is allow retail traders to realize that most altcoins who are promising all of this stuff is absolute hype, speculation, and fundamentally you don't really care. You're just here to make money, right? So if you can make money on something that's a trending topic, something that's funny, something that has attention, that's a far better upside for me, for you, for most audience members out there, than holding something like AVAX, which has promised so much, yet price hasn't done much at all because whales are selling or whatever's happening. There's just no adoption, right, on that specific token. Maybe the chain does well, but the token, and it begs the question, Craig, most altcoins probably don't need a token. Most crypto assets probably don't need a token.
No, they probably don't. And when you think about it, it really is just a way of a team to get paid.
Yeah.
Indirectly, and sometimes I think on a more sinister level, e.g. they can dump bags on the sidelines without us knowing, things like that. Same as meme coins. I guess the beauty with meme coins is that people like you and me and the people watching today, we have access to maybe the dev, not always, but you can get in the TG community. This is going to sound really silly for a sec, but you can get in the Telegram community, you can listen to the dev, you can see what they're saying. I know it's still meme coins, so bear with me. But with altcoins, you don't really have a way all the time of getting behind the scenes, behind the curtain, and knowing what's actually going on. So probably one of the good things about meme coins is I'm reluctant to use the word transparency, but there's probably a little bit more than with alts.
More community driven. Let's call it community driven, right?
And the way I stand, sometimes you can get obviously into a meme coin super early, right? Versus an altcoin that, when they launch, it's already at a certain valuation. People like you and me get in a little bit later. Then the early bag holders, they get to sell on us when we enter, and that's been going on, and that's in the stock market and everywhere. So no, I think it's great. And I think it's necessary. What will it do? I think it's going to hurt some alts. Memes will be fine. Alts,
it's already hurt them, Craig, this cycle, because it wasn't like
they were already damaged.
Yeah, exactly.
This is, I think, the final nail now-ish.
Well, exactly. And assets mature and asset classes mature, and I would say crypto is maturing because all of that rubbish from 21 is going to zero, and all the rubbish that's probably created in this cycle is going to go to zero as well. It's all about trading attention, as you just said, and trading. I would argue meme coins are more community driven. NFTs are more community driven. So they'll always have upside. And the point I want to make before we move on to this topic, which is also big news, is I feel like there's like, whilst the big assets probably have less ROI in them, so in terms of a return on investment, because naturally as market cap increases, that's diminishing returns. I feel like their adoption is huge for where this world will head towards $100 trillion as an industry, which I do think it gets to maybe in 10 years time, which is about like a 50x still from here. Most of that is probably going to be stable coins, and then the rest of it, even if it's 25% goes to Bitcoin, that's still Bitcoin up like 10x or 5 to 10x from where it is today. So there's a lot of upside still there. And I think you're still going to have, this is again why I focus so much on trading, Craig, is because trading is a fundamental skill that you'll be able to use every single day, no matter where you are in the world. And you'll be able to take advantage of the volatility. I mean, crypto being 24/7 has now changed the whole stock market, and stock markets are now going to be overnight trading as well. Like, this is like, again, this industry has disrupted. It's just, does it keep disrupting in the same way? Or does AI really take the reins for the next 5 to 10 to 15 years? And crypto kind of just oscillates a little bit more in a mature way, where the leaders really dominate, and there's going to be trends throughout that period of time. Something like a prediction platform, very much trending and probably continues to grow. But the rest of the market is just going to really suffer. So you need to be so tapped in, because as a trader, you need to be trading those sorts of trends. So I do think there's still going to be a lot of upside there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what you're going to find is the leaders are going to do really well here. So I would be, from this news here, I'd be doubling down, man, on like Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's just, I mean, I've thought this for quite some time, so I don't need to be really converted to Bitcoin. But for the people in the room who haven't got into it, or think, oh, there's so much more upside in altcoins and meme coins. Yes, there is. But with news like this, I just think Bitcoin's just going to continue to trend up. I mean, obviously there's going to be volatility in between A and B, but I think B is still going to be decently higher than A. And if you think about where you can put your money, you can put it in the bank, earn a little bit of interest, which isn't probably going to outweigh inflation. So you're probably still losing money and you're devaluing your dollar every year. We are in Australia and in the Western world. So for me, I just think the winners are going to win really well and the rest will die, which isn't a bad thing, because now you can kind of just plonk your money in a solid asset like Bitcoin.
If you look at it's the same with, okay, let's digress this. It's the same with metals. Gold and silver dominate. Platinum does all right. The rest of them not. I mean, copper and stuff have done well, but they're not the same exponential size as gold and silver, right? Let's look at stocks. It's the same. Nvidia, Meta, Google, Apple, whatever you want to call it. Okay, MicroStrategy, leverage, Bitcoin, a different conversation. Most of these stocks are being held, or the stock market, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ is being held up by the tech stocks, a premium of about 15 opportunities. The rest of the market is heading towards zero as well. So it naturally, I agree. I think it's heading in the same direction, where only the true builders, or the true upside of holding an asset for wealth creation like Bitcoin, is probably the upside for the premium people, for the people that have less risk appetite, for the people that have more money in their pockets. They're not going to be aping into our meme coins. They're not going to be buying our NFTs. They're not going to be trading on-chain trends. They're going to be looking, well, where's the best asymmetric side in that asset class? Okay, I'll allocate 5% of my entire net worth. That could be millions, that could be billions, okay, into Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, maybe Solana, maybe some other ETFs if they start to get approval, because those, like Link and stuff like that, and maybe Sui, we'll have to see what happens in the coming years. Those sort of tokens will come to the limelight, and they might be more of a degenerate play to those people who have a high net worth, or people who have less risk appetite.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think for me, this still shows that Bitcoin and the leaders have decent amount of upside left. In fact, I still see Bitcoin going way higher, because if you think about all
target, what do you think? What is, like, and give me like 2030, so that's 4 years away, and then maybe 2035. So it will go 5 years and 10 years. Where do you think we go?
I think 4x and then 2x, something like that.
Okay, so 4x from today is what? Like it's about $90,000. So 90 is $360,000 in about 4 or 5 years. Yep. And then a 2x from there is about $700,000 in about 10 years time.
Probably not too. So say a decade, give or take between 700,000 and a mil, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there's still at least, what's that, like nearly a 10x upside in your opinion? Okay.
Yeah, I just think over the net, you just have to be patient, obviously, over a decade, but a 10x over a decade is not terrible.
Yeah.
And then if you've got the ability to trade and swing it,
That's it.
then a 10x actually for someone like me who likes to swing trade, it can grow my bag. Not only does Bitcoin say it's done about a 7x this bull run, if you've swing traded it, it's a lot more than a 7x for someone like me. You might hit about a 10x if you swing it well. So there's opportunities for traders out there who are good with TA. That's where TA becomes so important because, I mean, we had a comment the other day about someone said, oh, TA's all shit. The thing I'd say to that is I used TA this whole bull run to swing trade Bitcoin. I could not have swing trade Bitcoin without TA. Because TA was my guide where it gave me predictions of where people were going to sell. And it's sort of like having this little looking glass or whatever into the future. It doesn't always work, but with Bitcoin, it's pretty accurate now. People could say,
I'll compound on your point. Yeah. I've traded meme coins all cycle using TA and made hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It works for sure. My profits show me it works. So, look, a day may come when it doesn't work. I can't see that day happening because TA works everywhere on everything.
It's algo driven. It's mathematics. It's also psychology. That those algos have been in markets for long before AI was even around, right? Correct. So it's not going to shift, in my opinion, as well.
No, neither. And the thing is, once the thing with TA, I used to think the same thing probably as a few listeners out there. I've told the story before. I had a friend who was heavy into TA in 21. I wasn't. I was fundamentals. He destroyed me in 21 trading. Absolutely destroyed me because I worked on a belief system, and a belief system in trading just does not work. It doesn't work, and you get called out. You won't sell the top because you believe 100K was my number in 21, right? That's what we're all going for, 100K. And I missed it by a fair bit, man. Missed it by 31%. So quite a big miss. And if I just learned some simple TA like my friend did, I would have walked away with a lot more money. And I realized that. And that's one of those moments, as you and me talk about in trading and trying to educate people, it's learning from your lessons or learning from your losses or learning from your pain. And that's what I did, I think, effectively in 21 is I stepped away and thought, where did I go wrong? And that's one of the ways I went wrong is I wasn't looking at TA. That was if I had to say the most important thing that was missing, it was that and that alone. If I just stuck to TA, I would have won a lot.
Yeah, and to just like why TA? Because a lot of people go, well, like what is it? And it's like, well, it just gives you probability levels that you don't know otherwise. It gives you an edge. It gives you levels of invalidation. It gives you levels of price targets. It gives you trending momentum. It gives you so much. And again, GTG, we talk about it in GTG. We educate you about this every day in GTG, and I'm building out hopefully some more for GTG members in the coming months. I'm a busy man, Craig. I'm a busy man. Anyways, next topic, crypto prediction platform Polymarket, which isn't allowed to be used in Australia. Still cannot believe that. Announces exclusive partnership with the Dow Jones and the Wall Street Journal. Dude, these guys are cooking. Arguably, I mean, I haven't looked at volume for a while, so let me pull that bad boy up and have a look at on-chain volume in terms of prediction markets. My question to you before we discuss this topic, is this bullish for Polygon? And should we be owning Polygon?
That's a good point. Maybe. Maybe. Although Polygon hasn't gone very well this run. Yeah, man, that's probably not a bad shout. I'd have to look into it, but
it is stable coins though. Like you transact in stable coins just on the Polygon network, right? Like that's the big differentiation here is it's not necessarily going to mean price goes up for Polygon. Whereas like when you trade Solana meme coins, you have to hold Solana, transact in and out of Solana, whereas prediction markets are stable coin markets. So maybe that doesn't mean it's as bullish as
I guess it will. I guess it will see an upside indirectly, but maybe you're right. Maybe it won't have such an effect as with meme coins and Solana. So look, that looks diabolical, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, they did change their name. I wonder if Matic History are they going to give me full Matic History? Nah, they're not. Okay. Anyways, Anyways, Polymarket, Craig, this is huge. Like, have you been like? We need to run a little side thing so we can access this platform. I haven't done that yet. I've been using Myriad, but I love Myriad. Honestly, I would literally be on Polymarket every day if it was obviously easy to access in Australia. So I do need to maybe consider jumping on there.
Yeah, look, I guess regardless of the price of Polygon Matic, amazing news, dude. Like, just yeah, I saw that headline. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, that's pretty cool. Like, again, adds more validity to crypto again. What are you actually going to be able to punt on here? I did bring up the article before. Where is it?
I need to get on there. Need to get on there. But it might be too late. I mean, a lot of people. What's really interesting for me is this just like perp dex platforms like Hyperliquid, Lighter, Asta, Avantis, which they have incentive. They have a TG, an airdrop, a token launching who knows when. All of these platforms do. Polymarket, Limitless, Myriad, Kalshi. Once an incentive drives up, does that mean volume and users go down?
Yeah.
Like perp dexes.
Yeah, possibly.
I would say yes. I would say yes.
Yeah, once incentives leave, certainly in crypto, people tend to leave. Yep. But I think with things like this, people are going to use the platform, so it probably will do well. But yeah, you're right. If there's incentives involved, then yeah, it probably will dry up. I think Polymarket, I was thinking about it a couple of weeks ago, a few months ago. It's pretty amazing, like the ability to bet on things, and I see that talking about integration even in things like on anywhere really. So say you and me could be running the show now, and we could have a widget or something going at the same time where people can be even betting or gambling or predicting what you and me are going to even say, man, live. Like,
it's crazy. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Myriad Markets is embedded to Kick, or it's at least on my Kick in the chat. You can literally, like, it has the option there to do it if you have the extension tab. So yeah, you're right, Craig. Like, it'll be, where is this heading? Like, that's the exciting part.
I think what's going to happen is people are basically going to wager on everything.
Yeah.
You know, as silly as some things are, like, is Donald Trump going to wear a red tie? You know, are you and me going to say mate 7 times? You know, I think, I think you're going to find little markets will blossom or bloom from stuff like prediction markets as well. It's really interesting. I don't know where it's going to head, but I just know with humans, we do like to gamble on everything. So this is just a natural progression.
Australia has, what is it, 250 billion or 50 billion dollars a year sent through gambling platforms, but you can't use Polymarket apparently. They don't have a license.
I mean, I know I've got mates who are pretty big sports bettors who will bet or gamble. They'll be sitting there at night bored watching. I know one of my mates was betting on like Russian table tennis like 3 years ago during COVID. Or a bit longer than 3 years ago, I guess. But during that time when everyone was bored at home, and he was just in there and he was gambling on like Russian, like stuff like that. And I was like, if people like him exist, they're going to gamble on everything, man, because they just bored at home on their phones. So yeah, I think this headline here for me is pretty massive, dude.
It is. On other news. Yeah, I agree. I mean, on other news, it looks like everybody wants to be launching stablecoins. Even Wyoming launches a first US state-issued stablecoin front on Solana. Here is some more adoption again. Like, you have to read between the lines here. What are the tokens that are going to probably survive in future years? Am I interested in buying these sort of tokens right now? Not really, personally. Bear market is where you buy this and just chuck it away and come back to it in the years to come. But this is sort of, again, bullish news. DeFi and Solana is very much trying to pick up stablecoins. If they keep partnering with, I mean, I don't know how much liquidity a state has in the US, but again, it's odd news. Odd news. What do you think? Like, what about like for us, Craig, here in Australia, Queensland launched their own stablecoin. That's bloody weird to me. That's weird to me.
Why? Why?
Yeah, why?
Why are they launching a stablecoin, Wyoming?
I don't know.
I just don't understand the purpose of it.
No.
It's weird, man. Like, I'm trying to think of. I don't know, man. I don't know why they do that when there already is stablecoins and banks are starting to issue them, and we've already got established stablecoins. Why are they doing that? Apart from maybe a raise for their what are Wyoming? Are they a state? What do you even call them?
Yeah, Wyoming is a state of the US. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't understand why. I would have to
Mm.
dig a bit further into what their reasoning is. If it is it just raising for their state somehow, but will people use that, and why? Why would they use it? Maybe if you're paying utility bills, you could use a
Oh
stablecoin.
yeah, true. Yeah.
Does it say anything?
No, I'm reading through it now, scanning. Wait, they already did have a stablecoin in August. Individual institutional use, fully backed by US dollars. Treasuries return interest income to the state. The Token Commission announced cross-chain bridging to Arbitrum, Avalanche, Coinbase, Ethereum, Optimism, Polygon. So basically EVM via Stargate. Yes. Core energy, agriculture, tourism industries, education, beyond, to embrace our digital assets, further demonstrate the strength of our enterprise, and provide our citizens, businesses, and the nation with cheaper, faster, and more transparent means of transacting. So, again, like that, I don't know, like each state in America is very different to another one. So, yeah, it's interesting. Can lower the taxpayer burden to us. That, mate, Australia loves tax, so I don't think they would ever go down this rate.
No.
But interesting.
I like transparency. Transparency is nice.
Blockchain is public. Blockchain is public.
I'm surprised to see a state want to have transparency. Typically, they want transparency for citizens, but not for themselves. So I'll be interested to see if the transparency involves themselves as a government, or is it just transparency of its citizens' transactions. If it's transparency for all, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
If it's transparency for citizens' transactions, but not for those above, then I'm like, slippery slope. But that's probably another topic altogether. But that's so weird to me. But look, I guess you could say, we're trying to get away from government bloat and them spending money in silly ways. Transparency is a great thing. So if we could have more transparency in government, I'm all for that, man.
You know what? That actually is pretty valid. I like that point. A bit more transparency from banks, from governments.
Look at Minnesota and all the stuff that's happening at the moment with fraud.
What's happening over there? I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's with that Tim Waltz and all that, who was obviously the guy who was running for VP with Kamala last year or the year before Trump got in. He's had to step down from the Minnesota race because obviously there's those Minnesota schools that were running fraudulent. They were getting about $2.5 million a year, and they were changing their name, and so it's ended up in the billions. So Tim Waltz has had to step down, which is pretty big news, man. When you've got someone who ran for VP last elections had to step down due to fraud, and then things like this coming in. This theoretically should help avoid fraud, really, if transparency's the main thing they're pushing. So I'm actually all for transparency because, if you want to monitor the government and make sure that those above us are doing the right things by us, because it's our taxes that pay for everything, right? It's not their money, it's our money.
Very true.
I'd like to know where my tax money goes. And if this is a way of being able for them to be able to audit, prove, yada, yada, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
Love that. What about this transparency, Craig? We commented on this 2 days ago, actually, where I found some YouTubers with, again, one guy, 240,000 subscribers, another guy with like 6,000 subscribers, both promoting how to rug pull, basically how to scam people out of money. All of a sudden, we have another Twitter account with not many followers, I don't think. Yeah, 20K, that's still a decent amount. Promoting over the last 24 hours that they rug pulled publicly, made $30,000 in 2 hours. Hope it was mostly crypto Twitter nerds who bought in, really digging in, moving to New York City. See you there. I just created a new currency coin in case you wanted to gamble with me and my future success. And literally doing this public. This went absolutely viral, Craig. I don't get. CT is like, you're a piece of shit. It's literally, but this is crime like happening in real time. We commented on it the other day. This is just unbelievable. How is someone like this, not being how is this not? Oh, dude, how does X and YouTube not have this as a parameter to block it? Yet I can't promote a video and pay for ads because it mentions the word crypto, or it might have the word Trump in it because it's like a trending topic, but I can't promote that. But these guys can outwardly post content on these platforms, literally saying they're scamming people.
Yeah, it actually blows my mind. And that's a really good point. I mean, I know with myself, I've done some Facebook advertising recently. Was it Facebook? No, YouTube. YouTube specifically. And I'd spoken about the Trump coin within the video, and it says it's political, even though I've said it's not.
You have to jump through legal hoops on
So
YouTube.
I can't post about Trump at all because it says it's political. It's like, man, I'm not even talking about anything political here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that I can be sort of censored like that, and it's totally incorrect. And then someone like this can come out and advertise what they're doing, and it's fine. I'm like,
look at this. 550,000 views 2 months ago. How I rug pulled 22 a day using Memecoins. This person 3,000 views 6 days ago. Like, dude, these people should be in jail.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, there's no other way to say it, really, is there? If you run a business and you openly advertise that you were stealing from your customers, you'd be out of business so fast. I mean, I guess these guys are anonymous to a certain degree. The thing is, if the authorities actually wanted to go after these people, they could find them pretty quick, man. It wouldn't take much forensics to find these people. So
no.
The fact you and me are getting censored for using the word Trump in a video, and then and then in their headline on the YouTube video it says how to scam. Like, dude, I agree with you. How's that not a filter on YouTube where they're like, oh, hold up, buddy, I'm not going to let you advertise how to scam people because that's going to proliferate. I mean, if you were 16 at home, right, and you've got a tough life.
This guy looks like he's 16, so yeah, idiot.
Yeah, if you're a minor and you're sitting at home and you're geeking out and you think, sure, I've got no money, how am I going to make money? I mean, how many 16-year-olds are going to read this and be very tempted to do it? Because your brain hasn't grown, you haven't developed. Also, you're a minor, so you can get away with a bit more crime as well.
True.
I'm not saying don't do that. To all the young people listening right now, do not do this. But it's a scary precedent to set. And the fact that this is, I mean, what's that one guy got? 500,000 views, man.
Yeah, like, that's 550,000 views. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's just not on.
That kind of sucks, and it also is bad for it's bad for the crypto space as a whole to see shit like that, dude. But it's not good.
Agreed.
Well. So agreed. No, not great. So transparency is great. Those guys aren't good. The fact YouTube allows that, I don't understand.
So bad. It's so bad. Moving on to the next topic, we discussed obviously the 2,500 maximum where Infinex only raised like 600K out of like a crazy $1 million raise that they wanted to get to. This was a tweet I think you were talking about where Tom came out and said, because he works for them, or I don't know if he does anymore, but basically he goes on a ramble about, fair enough, like this is all valid, blah, 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 blah. And then Kane obviously quote tweeted this. This was the first tweet I read today and it stuck with me all day. Genuine users got caught in the crossfire. A few people I know personally, and the way they were treated was completely unfair. They are well within their rights to direct a good deal of anger in Infinex's way. Tom is right. So Kane accepts, he comes out 22 hours ago and basically says, I was like wrong to block everyone on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. I was trying to get over the bots, but obviously some real true accounts got in the way. Used Cord to unblock everyone. It's down to 500 people now, as you can see here. He's very stubborn and can be a giant arsehole. Yeah, valid, bro. And can also recognize when something is unfair and apologize. But again, like, he's an idiot. He literally, as Chill Pill says here, you treated everybody like scum because you're a wealthy guy who's trying to get more money out of the ecosystem. And you called everyone a terrorist. I don't like that. Like, idiot. Optics are everything. Come on, bro. You're worth hundreds of millions of dollars and you're an idiot on the timeline. Come on, man. You can do better than that. Sure.
He should have just let us terrorists make some money, man. I mean, what he has he forgotten he's in crypto?
Oh,
we're all like that, man. We're all just, we're all day trading. We're all trying to make a buck somewhere. And if you throw out an incentive, we're going to use it. And then to turn around and say, oh, you can use the incentive, but you can't because you're a terrorist. It's like, well, hold up. Like, for people with InfoFi, these guys are using InfoFi to create awareness, right? So even if I'm a terrorist for a month shilling Infinex, isn't that still a good thing for them? Like, it doesn't matter my motivation, does it? It's just marketing. That's all it is. It's cheap marketing for them. So I think they just forgot. I just think they lost where they are in the market and they've forgotten what this space is a little bit. And as Kane said, he got caught up in a bit of, I understand as a business, a business owner, he's probably quite precious with his company. Yeah. And I understand he's trying to protect it. geez, but as a business owner, you just can't communicate like that, man. You cannot go on there. I just don't know what mindset he was in when he said that stuff, because I've got angry on the timeline before, man, but I would never say stuff like that. Like, I check myself, before I type. And yeah, I guess that's just it's a lesson to business owners out there. Just either employ someone to communicate on your behalf who's not emotionally, as a business owner, he's so emotionally invested, he might have to just step away and let someone else handle the communications, man.
That's fair.
He's probably hurt his company quite a lot, dude.
Oh, like, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Yeah.
Like, how does he now get everyone back on side, man? It's going to cost him so much money to get people back on side.
Yeah. Don't know, man. Don't know. That's a question that we'll have to just see unpack in real time. Market dipped overnight. A lot of things that pumped over the past week have seen their retrace. Now, I did comment on this a few days ago, and I said the move has already happened. A lot of people I want to long the market. I want to be buying spot here. I said, no. The big macro breakout on higher time frames. You some things went up nearly 2x right across the board. That is not when you buy. You buy that first. Ideally, we set a higher low, and I think we'll have a look at a few charts shortly, but you want to be buying that higher low if it's valid. Otherwise, this is just a little scam punk, maybe a fake out, maybe a short squeeze. People like to use a range of different topics. But lots of things have retraced down 7-10% today across the board. Even in the past hour, a lot of things are still going down. Rendered 2%, Pepe down 1%, World Liberty Bonk as well. Tau, all the top performers in the past week very much are down across the week. But if we come and have a look at Bitcoin, it is at a very crucial level here. So this weekly line here, if I zoom out a little bit for you guys so you can see it, this is basically what happened is we have not closed a weekly level above this since the 17th of November. So that's nearly 2 months now. We did have our first weekly close last week above it. However, we've wicked exactly up to here as a swing failure pattern. I went and watched Trader Main's video yesterday, Craig, just to clarify what you guys were talking about. He doesn't teach you how to trade a swing failure pattern. A swing failure pattern with a lot of people on YouTube and CT is basically around, this is an after fact comment. And look, I got it right. Or it's a 90% win rate. People lead people to a pond, but they don't teach you how to drink that water, right? So it's really key. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes on the charts that you should be looking at, that we educate you in GTG. Massive shout out to Cappy and Sexy, who educate people about this. But there's open interest, there's CDV, there's low time frame structure, there's order blocks, there's liquidity levels, there's supply zones. A lot more goes into it than waiting. This is the thing here. If you're basing your strategy off his video, what you are doing is basically waiting for the weekly close to come in. So you are waiting a whole week, Craig, before you even get this structure to confirm that this was actually a week above this previous week weekly high. So you missed this whole move. So you need it goes far deeper than that. So that's a content gap I need to create. But anyways, big weekly level here for us to hold around sort of 90.4. If we can't hold that, it doesn't look good. I think we go back to 80 very quickly. That's some high time frame analysis that I'm looking at here. So very important daily close over the next few days. Very important weekly close as well next week as well. Are you bullish, Craig? A lot of things did break out nicely, but as you can see here, a lot of things are down 10%. Filecoin down 10%. Rec down 14%. I mean, my long still very much in profit. Stop loss to break even, but a big, again, this is what I'm saying, a big correction. But is this going to correct into some high time frame levels? Is this going to correct into some fibs where I can find an entry again and look to long this towards those next targets? This move here, arguably, in my opinion, will be the last move of this cycle.
Agreed. And look, this is what you and I were speaking about on Monday, just referring back to Bitcoin. You and me spoke, and after that stream, I obviously ended up selling some Bitcoin.
I'll take some commission. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I'll send it to you in the post. What was I going to say? And one of the concerns you and me had, and that I had as well, is that it would hit its head at about 94. And then break down. And if it breaks down below 91, you asked me my invalidation level, it's about 90, 91. So you just mentioned that we're at critical levels. We are. And like I said, my fear was we hit our head at 94, break below 91, hit our head at 91, 90, and break back down to 80, as you said, possibly.
Yeah.
So that's why I took some profit, because that was one of my worries. So again, guys, if you didn't watch the Mondays, would it be the Sunday stream for the Americans in the room, go back and watch the first 30 minutes. And we actually run through when this is actually pumping, what the fear is. And now you can come to this one and you can see it kind of play out. So we're not just speaking now saying told you so. You can go back and watch it. There's receipts there. It's not to say, look, we're right. It's just to validate why I took profit at that point. And again, shows how effective TA is, because look what it tapped, dude. Like, was that luck that we called 94? Like,
no,
did
not
we get
at all.
lucky again, Greeny, for the thousandth, I come and talk, for the 100th time? It did it again, dude. So, I mean, look, okay, put it this way. If TA doesn't work, I've got extremely lucky then for 3 years. But I don't believe in luck. It doesn't work like that. Not with trading. You'll get found out very quickly. But no, like you said, just to get back on topic, now that we've hit our head, that's happened already. So let's move forward. The concern I have now is not the concern. The interesting level here is 98. That's what the FEG is what we were going for, and it looks like we failed, right? And luckily you
maybe not yet. No. Like, I would expect to pull back, grab liquidity here, pull back into the weekly level, and then set a higher low and move higher. That is a fair take.
A likely move.
Yeah. This is crucial. Like the weekly FVG, the 21 EMA, the 382 to the 0.5 fib from this high to this current low. This area here is crucial, in my opinion, for what happens in the new year, in 26. Like, I very much am in the camp that we like push up here. We grab wherever we want to go. We could wick all the way up to 107, all the way up here, grab all of this, and then come back down. Because if you look at higher time frame as well, like if I turn on some other indicators that you just like to use as a trending indicator, but if you look as well, like these are, I can't remember specifically which numbers these are. Does it tell me? No, it's not going to tell me. It's not going to tell me specifically, but this is a trending indicator that some of the top traders use on CT. And basically, if you can't get back above this level and show strength, bear market confirmation, as you can see over here, right? When it switches from this green trending, so in other words, we're in a bull uptrend. Let me change the color. We're in a bull uptrend, right? And then we correct, okay? We can trade below it, but if we show strength and get back above it, then it's really healthy, right? As soon as we lose it, if we cannot get back above it here, we get it back above it here, but it's a wick. Okay, doji candle, we close back below within the precedence the following week, sorry. Then you have wicks again, wicks. That is the complacency bounce that you get after a high, bang in here. People think, oh yeah, we're going up here. No. We're going here, we complacency, we grab some liquidity, then we go back down. And that's confirmation of the bear market. I would argue we are very much in that capacity right now, where we're at crucial weekly levels. We have 21 EMA. We have the 0.5 of the range. We have a lot of, like, we could go, like, price could get up here. And then, like, and people will be like, oh yeah, we're going to 120K. Nope. Grab the liquidity. Nope. Okay. There's your complacency bounce. There's your bear flag. There's your continuation down to, say, 60, 50, 40. I don't know if we go to 40K. The more I read, the more I'm like, people will be buying a lot of Bitcoin, in my opinion. Like, we started the show off with that topic. Like, I'll be buying a lot of Bitcoin. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. Obviously, you and me have spoken about the lower high. I think it's still in play. I think provided we hold this level, 90, 91, we get a bounce higher and we just continue to go up to, like you said, 98, somewhere in there. Could be 106, could be 103. Everyone will get excited. And then the bear market really starts.
Yeah.
And you know, going up, grabbing that liquidity, coming down, breaking below 90, hitting our head at 90. And then once we go down, that for me is then confirmation, obviously, that move's occurred. But that's the reason why I'll sell anywhere from 94 up to 107 is by the time we dip below 90, hit our head and drop, it'll be too late. It'll be too late. You're not going to get another chance. So that's why I've been selling. That's why I sold some at 94.
Yeah.
Just in case it happens, so I don't cry myself to sleep that night. But I think, look, what we've been saying since Q4 last year is playing out exactly as predicted. We could still be wrong. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it could bounce off this level, go to an all-time high, the 4-year cycle's then out the window, which I'm happy with if that happens as well. Then we can throw that book out the window and go, right, it's a whole new world. Bitcoin behaves differently. The cycle's broken, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
Just probability-wise, I don't think that's going to occur. I think we're going lower high, drop back down. The good news is even if that's the case and we don't hit a new all-time high like we spoke about yesterday, when it bounces to say 98 to 100 to 103, 106, 107, alts and memes, the selected ones are still going to run pretty hard. So you're still going to, everyone out there, don't think this is a bearish conversation. It's actually still bullish. I still think we go higher. I think this will hopefully be a shallow dip, but if we break below 90, 91 here, man, close below on the daily, it starts. There's just a lot of work to do for Bitcoin. And if we break below 90, there's just more work to do. And I think if we break below 90 and go back into the 80s, how much confidence will be left in the market, man?
Not much, man. Not much.
Like, because it's already on a real knife's edge here.
People are like, oh, like quantitative easing. Doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
It's not doing a lot for us at the moment. I mean, I know it probably takes time for that to come into play.
Which I would say is end of 27 into, end of 26 into 27 is when when you start to an asset, I don't think Bitcoin dumps anywhere near as bad as it has in previous cycles. I think worst case scenario 40s. Best case scenario, high 60s is actually what I would say, Craig. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, my immediate level is about that 69, 70K, which is obviously the all-time high from 21. I think there's a lot of trading in that region. I think there's going to be traders like you and me out there at 70K, man. 70K, sorry, I will be bidding fairly hard there. I think that's a nice discount from 126K. What's that about? 50%. That's about a 50% drawdown, I think. Around
42%.
That's not a bad dip. It's a largish dip. Could we go lower than 70? Probably. We could even go into the 60s for a while, and then start to accumulate there, and then move up from there. My low would be somewhere between 50 and 70K. I know it's a broad range, but I've got to give a broad range. I don't know about people out. I've seen some posts out there where people are like, there's a guy who just posted yesterday or the day before saying next month we go to 40K. And it's just people speaking absolutes like that are pretty scary, man, because that's quite a precise price.
Yeah.
And they're not giving a range, and 40K is a massive dip. Not saying we can't see it, but geez, man.
Yeah.
If we hit 40K, man, my stables, I will go ham into Bitcoin at 40K with my stables.
I think I'd sell a house if I was. No, I wouldn't do that. But if you have a look, we do usually Zach back towards the previous high of the cycle before. Yeah. So potentially that could be like, this is your level here, right? So 2021, there's your cycle high there at about 69K. So I would say this is the zone of accumulation here. If we get into that, I think it's a great opportunity for the next sort of 3 to 5 years, anywhere in this sort of zone here.
Dude, how exciting if we get to buy Bitcoin, honestly, like real talk now, at 50 to 70K.
Yeah.
Like I'm pumped for that. All my dogs going nuts. Just ignore them for a sec.
That's all right.
My wife's about to head out with my son, and he's upset. She's leaving.
All right. I will
you talk ready. I'll mute him.
Okay, I've got to jump off too in a couple of minutes. I've got an inspection at just after 10 o'clock here. So yeah, look, I mean, if you get to buy in this vicinity, I think your upside's definitely going to look good. Like, so let's just speculate here. So a pullback, say, into this region, where does that send us on some? Wait, why is it doing that? On some like extension targets. So the 1.618, the 2.618, if we have a look at that, 1.618 is at 174K, the 2.618 is 250K. So from a move around those lows, around those sort of prices, right? If we get down to those sort of levels, okay, a move from 48K, if we do see it, that's a 4x to 250. It's a 2.5x, 3x to 174, okay? What about the higher level? If you get to 69K, it's still 2.5x back to 174K, and it's about a 3.5x up to 250K. So I think that's probably a reasonable area. I think this is a great accumulation. The issue being, I wonder how much it's going to be in Australian dollars, Craig. What's that? $93,000 in Australian to buy one Bitcoin. So I still think if you get, in my opinion, if you're buying Bitcoin for sub 6 figures in Australia, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that dip. Obviously, there's probably people out there that are like, oh no, the dip. It's going to be well, for myself personally, it's the easiest time to accrue wealth, or to grow your wealth is buying that fearful time. Because, like I said, you asked me earlier in the show where I saw Bitcoin going.
Yeah.
Say it hits about 250K in the next bull run, maybe somewhere around there. If you're buying it at say 70,000, even at the higher end, say of the dip, what's that? Still a 4x from there, man.
Yeah.
So I actually think Bitcoin could return higher returns than a 4x. I'm being kind of pessimistic there just to kind of keep myself sober and not be like, oh, it's going to be another. I think what do we hit? Maybe an 8x this run from the lows?
Yeah, but I think we went down too far. But yeah, it was about an 8x. Yeah.
An 8x. So I just halved it. So that's why I went 4 and 2, just to be real hard on myself to make sure I'm sober enough to take profit before
It was a 19x the cycle before. 19x, 8x, 3x. I'll be more conservative. I'll give you a 3x from here. So that's about, 150K, which a lot of people were like, oh, 150K. I was like, yeah, I still think that's a good,
Yeah, so
get that. So
no, exciting, man. And the thing is, when Bitcoin, the other cool thing is when Bitcoin drops down to those levels there, your favorite alts, man, are going to be at an absolute bargain basement price. So if you can lock it in,
that's the best upside.
Your upside's then to find alts like you and me did last bear, where you find your utility type coins, and then you're probably going to do somewhere between a 10 and 30x possibly on some of those. So there's so much upside from a bear market low that it's I won't say it's hard to lose money, but man, it's definitely easier mode, and you get to scale out nice and slow. So I'm looking forward to it. I just, for myself personally, give me the slower high. It'll give me an exit on Bitcoin, or give us an exit on Bitcoin. It's also going to let our alts and meme coins breathe a bit. They're going to run. Whether the meme coins and altcoins run to their prior all-time high, I probably don't think so. Like for you, for instance, just to really quickly, like something like Pepe, because that's obviously pumped really hard. Can you see that, Greeny, going to a new all-time high?
No chance in hell. No, nothing goes to an all-time high unless it's a newer token. No chance. No chance. Yeah. Like Pepe went to $12 billion. There's no chance there's that much liquidity. Where's my Pepe chart? There it is. There's no way we get up to this level. Like you got to remember, like that's even from today where we pull back into 786. That's a 440% move. 4.4x from where price is today. I don't think you have enough time.
No, that's the issue I have, is time. And I think this window is 2 months, 1 month, 3 months. It's weeks even. So the runway shorts, I'd probably stress to everybody, focus on your charts, learn TA. I wouldn't be surprised if, say, Pepe ran at like the 50% level, something like that. Maybe had a quick run to a 2x from here.
Yeah.
That I can see. A 4x, it's my look, maybe, but I'm definitely targeting the 50% levels on some of my favorite memes here, which is still a 2-3x from here. So I am probably on something like Mulga, it's probably more. But certainly I think we're still in for possibly some fireworks, man. And you could see some pretty juicy P&Ls. People playing around with perps, if they're longing in times like that, will make a fortune, dude.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Probably a lot more.
I've got a long open on SPX and Filecoin, and they're down obviously quite a lot today and yesterday. But overall, hopefully they can make me a few $1,000s over like the next couple of weeks. Like it's just, I need to remember to step back, unless you're like swing trading them aggressively. Like step back and just sit in those positions, because it's a nice trade. Like my target is 58 cents for Filecoin, right? And SPX as well. Like my target for SPX is 94 cents. So there's still room here. We rejected from just below the 786. Pull back into this zone. Maybe I double down on it and push up higher with a clear invalidation. Maybe that's a trade that I'm looking at as well.
Well, the good news is you and I spoke on Monday, and when these things like, SPX was running, Rect was running, Pepe was running, Pengu was running, and they all had similar setups, you and I spoke about, we wouldn't mind an entry. It hits its head, drops back down, hits support, and then bounces. Buying that support level could be the move, right? So these little pullbacks now, for the viewers in the room and myself included, I need to now go and look for entries on these, because obviously if you miss the move, like Pepe, for instance, I think that might have moved, 60%, 70%?
You took a little leverage on that. That's a 4x move, right? Like,
so these pullbacks now are possibly your last opportunity to get an entry before the run.
Cycle. Yeah, this cycle, for sure.
So I actually think this is quite an exciting time for me included, because I think I get entries here. Whereas obviously for the viewers who came in on Monday and they saw Pepe just sending, that's not really your entry. And that's what I put in GTG. I said, look, Pepe looks great, but I'm still and it's actually still sitting above the level I called it at, right? It's at 65.5. About 6.5, 6.4 is my level. It's actually sitting really nicely for an entry now. So provided Bitcoin plays ball, the entries now could be really juicy on some of these memes. The skill actually, is finding your entry and picking the right coin. You can't shotgun this. I don't think you can just, I'll give an example. We've used it heaps. For instance, AVAX. I'm not keen to go look at AVAX and go, whoa, it's on a massive dip. It's done nothing. This is its time.
Yeah.
I think the market's already shown not interested. It's in the not interested category, AVAX at the moment. Will it come back next run? Possibly. Look, AVAX is probably going to pump here and show me and teach me a lesson.
Sure, it might pump, but it'll be another fake out, just like this. Okay, fake out.
We've had too many fake outs. It's broken up with me too many times for me to come back, man. I'm battered from that point. And AVAX, I don't even think it's a bad coin. It's just the market's decided it's not interested. And if the market decides it's not interested, I can't ram my thesis down people's throats. But anyway, I think there's going to be entries coming up. I think there's opportunities to make great money in the right memes, the right altcoins, much more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin now, for me, I wouldn't personally, I wouldn't be DCAing into it here. The upside's probably just not there.
I'm a patient man. I'm patient for my entry, Greg. I'm patient for my entry. I think Q1 could be bullish, but I think the rest of the year is quite bearish. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, so be patient. I think I'm going to be patient on Bitcoin. I'm selling Bitcoin and possibly looking for entries in the right alts and the right meme coins. And then
I love that.
What do we got?
No, so we're not going to do a giveaway. I said $10,000. We didn't get to $10,000, guys. So we're giving away $200 live on the show tomorrow. So make sure you be there. It might not necessarily be at the end of the show. So those people that come right at the end of the show might be earlier in the show.
Might be right up front.
So anyways, Craig, have a lovely, what day are we? Thursday today. Last day of the cricket summer, last test day of the summer. Looks like Aussies should get the win. Hopefully Kawaja goes out and scores the winning runs. That'll be kind of an epic story for him. Mate, great show, great news. Massive shout out to Levi as well, who we are now going to partner for clipping and for content ideas as well. So massive shout out to him. If you are interested in being a clipper for us, send us a DM. As always, you can also submit your clips to our WAP and get paid at $5 per $1,000 per 1,000 views, which is pretty generous out there compared to a lot of others as well. Craig, have a lovely Thursday, mate, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, guys, thanks everyone for tuning in. Shout out obviously to Yeet and to OKX. Obviously, check them out. Our preferred platform, links in the description, $75 of Bitcoin if you do some volume. So go and check them out. And obviously, as Greeny said, we'll do the big giveaway tomorrow for Yeet. So definitely put up there. We could do it at any time, so put up there. Other than that, let's go watch some cricket, Greeny, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Sounds good. See you later, chat. Bye-bye.